Ugly motherfucker.
Welcome to Wheel of Horror Sci-Fi Summer, the podcast where two best friends spin a wheel once a week. It chooses a sci-fi movie and they discuss it. Today we're talking about the 1987 film Predator, which was directed by John McTiernan. I'm your co-host Alec.
I'm Eric.
And Eric, let's just get this out of the way. You better get to the chopper.
Get to the chopper. Love this movie.
I feel like that line has almost overshadowed the movie now. You know?
Yeah, that one and Dylan, you son of a bitch. And they like have this mid-air arm wrestling match. That's how you tear a muscle right there. Like, oh.
That's my favorite line. I like that line way more than get to the chopper.
Dylan.
You son of a bitch. And now that's become such a cliche now too, but like a lot of sci-fi and action movies from the 80s definitely have those standout lines.
This movie's full of them. Like, you are one ugly motherfucker. Like that one. You got it was all bullshit.
I don't got time to bleed.
Yeah, I ain't got time. There's tons of lines in this movie.
What are you waiting for? Do it.
Do it.
Yeah, this really does. This is a lot of good Arnold lines, because most movies Arnold doesn't really talk that much. Like in Terminator, He doesn't, and then also in Conan, he doesn't really talk that much.
Conan, he doesn't talk a lot.
Yeah, he finally gets to kind of shine, and then obviously throughout the 90s, he's like, I'm a comedic actor now. It's like, okay. Well.
Yeah, I think this was like peak of his blockbuster. Like 1987 was just like, yeah, he's full blockbuster star now.
They're like, he can talk too, guys. It's like, oh shit. So yeah, but this movie, man, this is like two movies in one. It's like the first half is very much just like routine jungle militia, kind of like, all right, we're sending in the best we got sort of thing to save these guys. And then the second half is just, these guys are prey and this is an alien hunting them. So it's kind of cool. It feeds both of those sort of genres.
Yeah, like you just said, dude, like the first part of the movie is just like, yeah, in the jungle, and it would have been a good movie just with that. And they add the layer of the alien, the predator.
Yeah, so it kind of gives you like the whole scope of things. If you're like, I love action movies, this is for you. I love alien movies, this is for you. It's kind of got everything. It's Macho Man at its finest. I mean, this is what made The Expendables probably The Expendables, is Sylvester Stallone watching this, I would imagine.
Yeah, it's just straight testosterone. There's no other way to describe this movie.
No, it is very entertaining. Definitely, I'd say if I was going to go with one or the other, I'm going to go Aliens, or even just the Alien franchise. I just prefer that over the Predator one.
Oh, yeah, I think they both got a lot of good going on, but I'm more of an Alien fan myself as well.
Yeah. So I guess like just kind of walking through the movie, basically Arnold is, I don't know, I'm assuming he was in Afghanistan, he says. These guys are like the best of the best. They send them in there on a fake mission, basically, because they want to get, it seems like Russia is teaming up with some South American country, and they're going to start doing some shit. And that's what this is all really about. And Carl Weathers knows about it the whole time.
Yeah, but they were like duped into like, you're going to rescue these people and this and that. And so, we get to save our men. That's what we do. We go in and we save our men. It's like, no, you went there to get some documents. You didn't care about your men. But right. Carl Weathers says something along the lines of like, I didn't know he was like skinned alive and dead. I thought he could still be alive.
Right. So. Okay. So it's almost like Carl Weathers is like the Burke character from Aliens. Like he's kind of in on it, but doesn't know the extent of it, but is still like knows more than everybody else.
I don't think he's as slimy as him.
No.
Yeah, he's basically that. Yeah.
Yeah, and I guess like the Predator in general too. It's I was like really paying attention to all of its little gadgets and stuff like that. Dude, I'm thinking about it. Its eyesight is horrible. Like even with the mask on, it's like the best it can do is just see heat or whatever. Like that's really, there's like barely can see motion or anything like that.
Yeah, it's like putting on like really shitty Walgreens glasses. It's like, this doesn't really help, but it does. Like,
yeah. So I was like, all right, well, that kind of sucks for it. But I was also like noticing, you know how it like records the voices of all of the people or whatever, and then plays them back.
Yeah,
dude, I was like, that's just like a duck hunter kind of.
It's like making the noises. Yeah.
So it like tricks people. It's like they're like, wait, what was that? And they look in the woods, and I'm like, oh, this thing is really smart. But why is it there?
I mean, that was its, it's like, hey, like, do you want to go hunt like in Wyoming? Do you want to go? It's like, oh, let's go to Earth. Let's see how many trophies you get. Mark Predator got 15 skulls. How many skulls can you get?
Yeah, so that's like kind of fucked up. I mean, we learn more about that as the series goes on, that this is like a hunter alien race that basically, yeah, you're right, goes and collects skulls of xenomorphs and humans and stuff like that. But so yeah, is this like a big game hunter trip for this guy basically?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, well, that's kind of what Alien versus Predator is, because the Predator, it's like almost like big game hunting is like Alien. So when the Predators go hunt aliens, it's like, oh, that's legit hunting. But
Yeah.
humans, it's weird because you think like, oh, it's going to South America. That's where it's landing. It's probably just going to kill a bunch of locals. But we learn that the predator doesn't play the game, like doesn't hunt unless the prey has a weapon as well.
Right. All right. So basically, like, I'm trying to just look at it from the predator's perspective. Like, he's coming down to Earth. He's going to a remote area so that he can collect some human skulls. He's not going to like New York City or whatever. He's going to like a pretty remote area.
That's Predator 2. No.
Right. No, that
Or,
is.
like
That
whatever.
is.
Yeah, pretty
It's
much.
every sequel is just in the city.
In the
Yeah.
city.
Yeah.
You know.
But this one, so he goes to a remote area, and also that woman Anna, she talks about it too. Like he's been here before. She's just like, oh yeah, like in the hot summers, these things come, and like my grandmother would talk about them. So I think they've been doing this for a while in this area
Yeah.
because what's gonna happen? You know, they can't. It's not like New York City. They'd be like, there's fucking aliens, and it's all over the world news. But in remote Mexico or wherever this is, probably not gonna really get out much.
Yeah, it's like culling deer. Like, hey, like let's show up every like couple months and take out these deer. They're probably doing like every like 10, 15 years, let's come back to this area and see if we can get more game than we did last year. And they probably have a contest of who gets the most skulls.
But you see him cleaning off the skull, so clearly you're right. They are trophies. But
Yeah.
do you think the Predator, when he landed, he saw that group of militia people with the Russians and the Mexicans there, and then was like, I can't, that's too many people? Or do you think he didn't even know about them?
I wonder, I mean, maybe they could pick out like and read like what was going on in the area. So that's, oh, there looks like a small group of militia people are here. Predator, you go. And like that's when like the pod goes, like when they're driving the earth.
I just wonder if it's like just by happenstance that it's like near this funded militia group by the Russians, like shit's going down on
Yeah.
Earth, basically. And was this a reason, or was it just, oh, wow, it just happens to be in this area that we always hunt in anyways?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I'm thinking like what's a terrible area for like the Predator to land in?
I mean, like Antarctica would be terrible. Pretty much any city.
Well, I think that's what Alien versus Predator is, right? It's in Antarctica.
Kind of. I vaguely remember it. I know
Yeah.
Waylon is in it. The guy, Lance Hendrickson is in it, and they find alien skulls or something. I don't really remember.
Yeah, it's like almost like an ancient temple they find. But just think it like terrible, like a poor ridden country that doesn't have any guns. It's like the Predator would just be walking around like, hey, do you want to like pick up this rock and like try to kill me? Like,
Oh, okay. So you mean like that? Like we would be the worst person? Yeah.
like well, it has a rule. Its rule is like I cannot hunt unless they have a chance as well. It seems like they like the game of it.
Right. So that is like, and I think that's why that Billy character, when he like slices his body open with a machete, he like understands. He's like, all right. He's like, let's go. Mano y mano. Let's go. But it seems like Predator just fucked him up so fast. I don't know.
Yeah, and it's kind of like at the end with Arnold. It's like Arnold is not wearing any armor or any like doesn't have anything, and the Predator's like, "Let me take off my armor. Let's do this. Let's throw some
Yeah.
hands."
That's one huge thing I want to talk to you about. So basically, the entire movie, we're seeing these heat coming off of all these people. You see the full body line out or whatever. These guys are wearing clothes. Okay, so what's the rules here? The Predator can't see you if you're covered in mud, but he can see you if you're wearing clothes.
Well, mud will bring your body temperature down, and it'll
Yeah.
mask it. It's kind of like you ever see Tremors. It's the same Tremor thing as well.
Yeah.
Like cold or blocking your body temperature would keep the Predator from seeing you. Clothes don't really, change your body temperature. If anything, it heats you up.
Yeah, and I guess you're right, but still, I just thought
Mud is cold.
I know. I'm just kind of like, really, like every inch of his body was perfectly covered by the mud to the point where the Predator couldn't see anything.
Really, is this where you draw the line? Is this like
No.
mud, not the alien with the atomic bomb on his wrist? Like,
Of course, that's crazy, but I'm just kind of thinking like he got very lucky when he figured that mud thing out. And then you see the one scene later after he's already like done his Home Alone setup where he's done the entire jungle, and then he's rubbing his face with the mud. He looks like he's looking into a mirror. I was like, how does he even know what he's hitting? What if he's already like rubbed off like a part where he thought he rubbed it on before? Because mud's not like, it doesn't stick to you like paint.
Dramatic effect.
I know. No, I like that. I think that adds a whole nother layer to it.
Home Alone. That's kind of funny. You realize it's like, this is my forest. I have to protect it. Like,
Yeah. Well, that's the other thing. Dude, like, I get it. Like, he's got pride now. He's like, you killed all my friends. Like, fuck you. But, like, dude, he tells her to get to the chopper. He should have just ran, too. He took, like, hours to do his whole setup or whatever. Dude, run. Like, I know you want to fight this thing, but, like, you got to get out of there.
if it bleeds, it can die. It took out all his men. He's like, I'm going to stop this thing.
I get
He's
it.
Dutch, Alec. He's Dutch.
Nah,
Dutch doesn't take no shit from no predators. I wish he did more Home Alone lines now that you bring that up. What's a good Home Alone line for Arnold to do? "Are you done yet? Are you thirsty for more?" Like like with a BB gun.
A whole cheese pizza just for me. Yeah, that line
Yes.
wouldn't really make sense.
Oh, he's, like, scared of, like, the furnace. Like, "No, it's scary down there."
The music, though. The music, dude, did you realize who did it?
Oh, I love the music. Is it, who does it?
It's Alvin
I know we've
Silvestri, the guy that did Back to the
Back to
Future.
the Future. Yeah, dude. That's sick. I like the music in this. It's like dun, 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 dun.
Yep.
It's kinda Back to
Yeah.
the Future-ish,
Dude, there's
yeah.
a lot of Back to the Future moments where you're just kinda like, "Oh, this definitely sounds like an action scene from Back to the Future," like Marty's running or something like that. Like, the music's very it definitely helps this movie a lot. You, like, just
Yeah.
kinda make, like, scenes that, like there's a lot of montage, a lot of, like, setup, a lot of, like, walking through the woods, a lot of, loading your guns or whatever, but with that music, it really makes it just move quick, you know?
Yeah, what's the total runtime of this movie? It's only like an hour and a half, right?
Nah, it's like hour 46, I think. It's kinda long. I was a little bit
Yeah.
surprised.
I just think it flows so well. Like, it's so quick.
Yeah, it's 107 minutes. It does move well, and the character development's actually really good. Like, I like how you've got the tough guy well, they're all the tough guy, but you've got, the one guy that Billy won't laugh at any of the jokes, he's very stern, he's their tracker, he's like the Native American kinda guy. You've got the guy that keeps trying to make the jokes. He's really trying to, I love that. Carl Weathers, so he's kind of like the higher up, he's the corporate guy, they all know and even, Matt gives him shit, he's just like, "I don't care who you are in the real world, you do that one more time, I'm gonna put you in the ground."
Yeah.
So,
I like Jesse Ventura's character. It's like, "Dude, you just got shot." He's like, "I ain't got time to bleed." It's like, "No, you need to sit down. Like, you need to get a
yeah,
bandage, and, like, we need to talk about this. This is not safe."
I know, how does he just, like yeah, I don't know, I wanna know, like, how
That's
people can just
that's a different breed of person, someone who can get shot and, like, act like it's no big deal. Like, if I was shot, I'd be like, "Oh my god, oh my god." Like
yeah, any normal person would be like, "Fuck, fuck," and
Yes.
he's, like, back,
I'd be,
but
like, in the fetal position, just, like, holding my wound, and he's, like, walking around with, like, a big, like, machine gun. Nah.
yeah. Well, alright, so I wanna know too, they could have done kind of what The Thing did, dude, if you think about it. Remember how, like, The Thing prequel did showing what happened to that Norwegian base or whatever right before The Thing started?
Right.
They could have done that with this, with Hopper's crew or whatever. They could have literally shown them being like, "Alright, you're gonna go out there and do this," and what happened to them.
Yeah, they could've. I think that coulda worked for sure. Like, the same story just happened, like, at the other camp, and, like, that goes to their camp kinda thing.
Well,
Like
think about this, because like, Arnold, Dutch, and all those guys, they find Hopper, they find his crew all strung up and skinned or whatever. What about their story? They
yeah.
interacted with the Predator first. I wanna know, like, okay, so, dude, they coulda made that prequel. That would've been sick. Like, imagine the Predator getting sent down there, why he got sent down there, how many skulls he has to bring back. Maybe, like, he's been embarrassed before, or, like, the culture's like, "You're not gonna be our leader anymore if you don't bring back, like, 50 skulls," or whatever. I don't
Yeah,
know.
it
They
goes
could have
back
done
to the it goes back to even when that little girl was a little girl when it happened too. Like, start with, like,
dude,
that being part of the beginning of the movie, and then it going into, like, redemption time.
Dude, seriously, they could have done her story where she talks about it in the movie. She's like, "Yeah, my grandma says the heat of the summer brings them out," or whatever. So, yeah, they could have shown years of progression of this thing leading up to this moment and then killing Hopper's crew. And then, boom, that's right when the movie ends. And that's where this one starts is like them walking up to the bodies and the Predator seeing them is like right when the movie ends. You're like, oh, and then it makes you want to go back and watch this one.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea.
Cause like they've done so many sequels to this and like, I don't know,
Yeah, but
man.
the sequels they did are pretty crappy, and obviously because they didn't get Arnold back. We
Yeah.
wanna see I mean, the best idea for a sequel would probably be, like, Dutch, he's retired now, he's living on his own, and these predators put him, like, at the top of big game. It's like, "Yo, this guy took out, like, Mark the Predator." Like, I'm just gonna name him Mark. Like, "Mark? Dude, he killed Mark." It's like, "Dude, he killed Mark?" It's like, "Oh, man." Like, "Okay, well, let's send, like, 3 of us." And
Yeah.
then, like, the second one could be called Predators. I know they made that too already in, like, I think in
Dude.
2010,
That's
but
a good idea, but they made Predator they made Predator 2, Predators, The Predator.
yeah. But m the thing is, like, Arnold survived, he beat the Predator, so it makes
Right.
him, like, the bigger game and, like, the skull everyone wants, you know?
Yeah, that's a good idea. It's just fucking too late now. He's, like,
Well,
75, you
is
know?
it is it? Could you do it, like could you do
No.
it where, like, they come back, like, 20 years later, 30 you know what I mean? Like, they kinda did with the girl, like, "My grandma said they come in the heat."
Global warming.
No,
Just bringing them
I
out.
could throw that in there too, but you know what I mean? Like, they could do, like Arnold's, like, in his 60s, he's like, "Are you kidding me? Like,
They're back.
one of these things is back?"
Yeah. Oh my god, dude, they should tie him Predator, and then the mid portion of his life is Jingle All the Way, and now at this stage he's doing Predator.
Oh my god.
So it's like he got out, he went in, he moved to Minnesota, he had his little Jingle All the Way moment. They bring back Jake Lloyd.
Wait, 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 and he fights the
Yep.
Predators in the Turbo Man costume.
Turbo Man.
He has, like, the boomerang with the Turbo Man. He's like, "It's
Yep.
turbo time," to the Predator, and, like, fights the
Yep.
Predator.
Here we
Jesus
go.
Christ.
Predators all the way. Yeah.
Predators all the way. And but they
Yeah.
add the Home Alone Christmas stuff into it too.
Oh my god. Dude, here we go. Here we go. Dude, we just pitched 2 great we got a prequel and we got a
I'd
sequel.
watch it. I'd watch it.
I'm like, come on.
On top of it, Arnold, like, can't find Jamie a PS5, and then that goes into play, and he has to go find a PS5, but he can't find it because the Predators keep blowing up the PS5 whenever he gets it.
It's so fucking crazy.
It's like, "Now you've
I
done
mean,
it," and, like
I would watch both of those, honestly. I really would.
Oh,
Because
it's
like
Jingle All the Way with Jake Lloyd today. My mind, I'd pay $100 for that ticket in the movie theater. You kidding
yeah.
me?
And then the director of this movie, dude, he's done so many good he did The Hunt for Red October, Die Hard, The Last Action Hero, Die Hard with a Vengeance, The Thomas Crown Affair. Like this guy's done quite a few movies that are like pretty damn good.
Yeah. No, I mean, this is a great movie. I'm not knocking it at all. I think it's a
No.
fantastic action movie, sci-fi movie. It hits every check mark, and it's also really original and iconic. Like all the things the Predator has, like his shoulder gun thing that with the 3 laser pointers, that's a cool concept in general. I love that like logo that the laser makes and stuff like it, and the blood, and it's cool.
Oh
It's a
yeah,
cool
man. Well,
movie.
it's the same guy that did Alien. It was Stan Winston who then did Pumpkinhead the next year. So it's like, dude, like think about that. He invented the xenomorphs and Predator. Like that's pretty cool.
That is really cool.
And dude, the Predator's face looks insane, man. Like that looks
Yeah.
so real. That looks way better than any CGI ever could.
I'm trying to think like what it like reminds me of like a Venus flytrap, but like certain animals. I can't think of the animals or like dinosaurs. I don't know.
Yeah, it's almost like a reptile, but it's just got like it's got claws on its face as it opens up. Yeah, dude, that took a lot of creativity to think of that. Well, yeah, but originally I guess this movie was supposed to be called Hunter, I guess because, that's what he is. He's a hunter.
Yeah.
But I do like the name Predator better, and I do like how it almost makes it's like humans are the predators most of the time. And these guys, like Arnold and their crew, they are the predators to this militia group that they're tracking, but then they become the prey. And it really is like, I mean, with the exception of its eyesight, this thing is superior to man in all aspects,
Yeah, which makes it like it's like unfair, like with deer and hunting. Oh, a deer doesn't stand a chance for
Right.
against a hunter. So I guess that's how I look at it. And like big game hunting, like it wants to hunt the top elite forces. So maybe that's why it does land there, because it knows that these are like the top militia people, which is
Right.
like back to your point about like how does it know where to go?
Well, yeah, because it would if it landed at like a massive military base, like like Fort Braggs, if they landed there or something like that, like he would get destroyed. Like humans would still kill it because it's like if one bullet hits this thing, like if they actually hit it with that, when they're going crazy and mowing the whole jungle down, that would have killed it if it didn't like escape. If it didn't like get out of the line of view, like that definitely would have killed the predator.
Oh yeah,
So
but
it's smart. It's smart about where it chooses to go. Is basically what I'm saying.
very smart. And I love the ending. Oh, a couple of reasons why I love the ending. One, because it mimics Johnny's laugh or whatever, Billy's laugh at the end.
Yeah.
I love that. And I love Arnold goes like, "What the hell are you?" And the predator asks him back, "What the hell are you?" Meaning like, you just beat a predator. Who are you? Top shot. And then he has his wrist thing. And it's like, oh, he's going to set off a bomb that Arnold survives.
Yeah. And it looks like a nuclear bomb goes off.
There's a mushroom cloud and a half coming from that, and he's maybe 30 yards away from the blast by the time he I don't even think that far. It's like that goes off right there. So it's like, and he's just like standing on the beach, like, yes, I survived.
Dude, it's so ridiculous, but it's fun, whatever. But I do like how the predator does that because it's like, not only am I going to kill you, I'm going to kill myself, and I'm also going to destroy all of my technology so it can never get traced back to the rest of us.
Yeah, no one's going to believe you either, kind of thing as well.
Oh yeah.
So.
Well, then the other thing was the predator. when it asks that, it's just like, "What are you?" And it's like, "What are you?" It's sort of thing. It's like maybe it's I'm going crazy here, but it's like it's asking a human like this. You do the same thing, sort of thing. So it's like, "So what are you?"
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's a great point. Getting real deep. It's like, oh,
Yeah. A couple little trivia things that were kind of interesting, I thought, from behind the scenes was apparently Arnold and the director both lost 25 pounds during filming this. Arnold, it says, was a choice. Like he did it intentionally to try and lose weight. I think just probably like tighten up. He's probably like really
get
big.
more
And he's
lean, show off the muscles.
yeah, exactly. But the director did it because almost all of the cast and crew suffered from Montezuma's revenge while staying
Oh,
in Mexico.
shit.
Yeah, so the
Oh,
director, like, didn't eat. He avoided food and water in Mexico because he didn't wanna get Montezuma's revenge, and he lost 25 pounds during
oh,
the shooting.
Jesus. I don't think I told you not to drink the water. I told you not to.
But everybody else, yeah, so Arnold, I guess, didn't get sick, he just chose to lose the weight, but then the director lost 25 pounds, and the other thing that I thought was kinda
Did
interesting
they
is
get Montezuma's revenge or did they avoid it?
no, most of the cast and crew got it, I think with the exception
Oh,
of the
God.
director. The director did not get it because he was, like, aware of it, so that's why he lost the weight because he wasn't eating or drinking, and then most of the other crew did get it. Um
Yeah, also I've never been to Mexico, but that is one of the scariest things I've ever heard of. Like Montez, that's like terrifying. And I had something happen to me in New Orleans where I drank the hotel water, and I wasn't told any of this. I rinsed my mouth with the hotel water, this and that. I was really thirsty. It was like a night of drinking, and I just poured myself a glass and had it. Went to bed. Apparently, that comes like right from the Mississippi,
Yeah.
and I was probably top. Like I've had flu, I've had COVID, I've had swine flu, I've had all kinds of sicknesses. That's probably the worst I physically felt in my life, and I had to stand at an altar for my friend's wedding, hungover as well. It was, dude, it was like, does anyone have a gun so they can just put me down? Like it was the worst feeling in the world. So if I went to Mexico, I would do the same thing. I would avoid that at all costs.
Yeah, you're really not doing great for the, New Orleans travel industry, man. You're this is, like, the second
No, I know.
episode.
I no, dude, I love New Orleans.
No, but
But
you told this story on the Cabin Fever episode about the
really,
exact same
good.
story.
Oh, geez,
Dude,
it's the worst.
so
It's the worst.
I'm like, "Jesus Christ, no one's gonna go to New Orleans after listening to you."
Nah, nah, don't do it. Don't have the
Well,
hurricanes.
the other little bit of trivia too is apparently they started filming this in March of 1986, and then Arnold Schwarzenegger left during production to go marry his wife in April. So they halted production. He left, went and got married, and then came back after a 3-day honeymoon.
Maria Shriver?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Could you imagine, like, you're filming this movie in Mexico, in the jungle, and then you're like, "All right, everybody, I got to go get married. I'll see you later. I'll be back in like 5 days." Rushes up there, gets married. It's like, "Okay, I love you,
Well
honey."
well, that, but also everyone's, like, not eating and drinking down there. So, like, they're probably like, when's Arnold coming back? Like, I wanna, like, eat food again and
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah,
So,
probably.
someone's like,
Yeah.
"Yes, I'm having a nice buffet dinner. It's going to be good."
Yeah. No, but I'm just trying to imagine, like, that must have been a really, really stressful time in his life. He's like, "I'm filming this movie. I'm getting married. I got to come back and finish the movie."
Back then, man, he was like The Rock, dude. He was bouncing around all the time.
Yeah.
Like The Rock, like you look at The Rock, it's like, dude, does this guy sleep? Like, Arnold was
Yeah.
like that back then. This guy just worked out, did movies, got married, did it all. Like bounced
Yeah.
around, dude.
Oh yeah, no, I mean we talked about him before. I mean he is like kind of an American like success story. Like he achieved the American dream. I mean he's a dude from Austria who moved over here, became the biggest bodybuilder in the world, then became the biggest actor in the world, then became the governor of the biggest state in the country. It's just like that's an impressive
Yeah.
life.
He probably has
Uh,
more movie quotes too than I mean, it's just he's had quite the career
I-
and all
yeah,
encompassing.
I don't want to shit on The Rock at all. I'm really not, but like if you hold Arnold up to The Rock, I think The Rock has more exposure because he's in literally everything. Like he'll never say no to anything. I think Arnold was a little bit more selective about his roles and they were more iconic as a result. I also think that the fact that Arnold came from another country and had to learn the language and had a pretty I mean, that's a pretty thick accent, and he was able to become the biggest movie star in the world with that accent, with no knowledge of American culture growing up here, was a bodybuilder who transitioned into acting, who transitioned into politics. I'm not saying The Rock can't do it, but like I think the odds were stacked against Arnold a little bit heavier than they are against The Rock.
I mean, The Rock was born into the wrestling family. Too.
Right.
His father was a wrestler, so he already had the
The
foundation
door's
there.
open.
Even though I mean, he didn't have it easy either.
No.
But Arnold, though, he was in like straight up like boarding school and like snuck out. I watched this like I think it was called Blueprint or something on Arnold. It's like a 10-minute documentary about his like blueprint to success. And he literally snuck out of his school, like a military school. It was like really strict, to go work out and do a competition.
Yeah.
And he snuck out and he came back and they were going to punish him. But then they saw he won first place. And they're like, "What do you mean you won first place?" He won first place in this and like all of Europe or something. So they, and they got him a weight set, and then he took off from there. Like, he made himself, literally.
Yeah. Obviously, what he achieved is so crazy, but like if you look at like the American dream, like a guy who is self-made, came here, did all these steps, and just defied the odds. I don't know. I do respect Arnold. I know he's had some shit in his past that's not great, but like at the end of the day, like it's pretty successful what he's been able to
He's
accomplish.
fessed up to everything he's ever done, though, where other people deny it. He completely just like, yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, Arnold's a cool guy. And then just really quick, the last thing I thought was just kind of interesting is in an interview, Carl Weathers said the actors would secretly wake up as early as 3 a.m. to work out before the day's shooting. Weathers also stated that he would act as if his physique was naturally given to him, and he would only work out after the other actors were nowhere to be seen.
Yeah, I'm sure.
I love that. He's like, I don't know. This is just how I look.
Yeah. I mean, the 70s and 80s, like steroid city. You don't just take steroids and muscles just like, oh, look at my arms. Like, no, you work out still. But also like Arnold, dude, he has the genetics of an ox. Like, he's insane.
Well, yeah. Steroids can only take you so far. I mean, you do have to have some sort of like natural, just muscle building abilities, be a big person naturally.
Oh, he looked at it as he was like Michelangelo. He's like, I'm just putting on clay to this piece of my arm, like by working it out. Like, he like built his like statue of the body. Like, it's crazy, like all that stuff. So I'm a big Arnold fan. So
yeah, I have a lot of respect for him. I mean, I really do. He's an iconic guy. I mean, in my mind, he's almost like a different Harrison Ford. Like, I love the movies that he's in so much that I just have grown to love him. And I think that what he's done in his personal life is it's an accomplishment.
Yeah.
Well, you got any last things to say about Predator?
I just can't believe he survived that blast. I mean, like you said, the glasses on the Predator suck. So it's like, is this bomb on his wrist just like 4 sticks of dynamite? It's like not even that great. Like, you think technology like this would be like an H bomb that like just destroys the planet.
Okay, so 2 things about that then. The Predator's eyesight, you just said it sucks. We've been talking about that the whole time. Right when he walks up and he sees Arnold, and he's like, come on, do it. He's able to see, wait, whoa, what's this little thing right here? That's going to crush me. What the fuck? I'm going to walk around you. How does he see that?
I don't know. That's a good point.
Like, so there's that. Where I was like,
he can see the sharp points, I'm sure. Like, he sees leaves and stuff. We've seen him see leaves.
Dude, his eyesight is literally worse than a Virtual Boy, and he's able to see this tiny little thing. He's like, oh, that's gonna fuck me up. Anyways, so there's that. The other thing is that explosion, dude. Next time you watch Return of the Jedi, watch when Han Solo blows up that shield generator on Endor, dude. That explosion is even...
no one's gonna survive. Yeah, I know.
Dude, he's like 2 feet away from the explosion. So it's the same thing in Predator. I'm like, oh, they just took that straight out of Return of the Jedi. Got it.
I'm like, back up. Like, Han Solo's like telling all the Ewoks to back up, and then all of a sudden there's like a massive satellite explosion, and it's just like them under like, woo, and like pieces are flying everywhere.
Yeah.
No, it's the same thing as this, but one other thing, the Predator might just be the biggest sore loser of all time. And I'm talking like back when you're a kid and your friend is like, I don't want to play this anymore, and like flips the Monopoly board or like shuts off the N64. Like, Predator's kind of got a, he's a sore loser. He's like, I don't want to play anymore, so I'm going to blow up and kill you and you're part of your planet too, because I don't like losing. Like, that's the Predator.
That's basically...
I don't have a lot of respect for the Predator. I don't.
No. He's not moving to another country and becoming the governor. He's not doing that.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Well, anyways, we don't have another episode to spin. I think it's just Starship Troopers, right?
Starship Troopers, yes.
Yes, the only good bug is a dead bug. Hoorah.
Yeah, classic. Yeah, dude, I'm very excited for that one. I haven't seen that one. Oh my God, it's been 20 years, I feel like.
Yeah, it's been a while for me too. Well, thank you everybody for listening in, and we have Fresh Film Fridays coming out tomorrow, episode 2, and then we also have Sleepaway Camp coming out this Monday. So we'll see everybody next week for Starship Troopers.